11:59 and 59 seconds. This happened on Today.com today. The most confusing lady in America entered her 7th day of relevance this morning as former NAACP chapter president and crypto white person Rachel Dolezal went on the Today Show to set everyone straight on this very controversial, very disorienting story. Take a look.
Let me just ask you the question in simple terms again, because you've sent mixed signals over the years. Are you an African-American woman?
I identify as black.
Oh, sort of thank you for the answer? I mean, I guess orange isn't the new black? I don't know. Or is it? Or is it? I don't know, man. I do not know how I'm supposed to feel about this issue. Maybe this gift will illuminate us. This clip is, of course, from the Black or White video by the godfather of transracialism, Michael Jackson. And while everyone's rushing in with their hot takes on how we should feel, I don't even know what is going on, which makes it very difficult for me. This is my honest reaction. I don't know how to form an opinion on this. Because it's so many... Okay, on the one hand, she's appropriating black culture, but on the other hand, she did a lot of work for the NAACP, so... Unless she did it for her own gain, which then it would make it bad, but it seems like she really cared, which is kind of good. But it's wrong because she lied, but it isn't. But is it also wrong to marginalize someone's identity? Like, I don't, as a white person, I don't even know if I have a right to feel anything on this. And I really don't. I think it's not my, like, I see the story and I go, well, that's not my business at all. Like, and it's so many, it's just like an air show disaster of political correctness. Like, I don't know which, I don't know what's okay. So here's a thought. Just because we all have Twitter accounts doesn't mean we have to sound off on something we really don't know a goddamn thing about.
Hi everybody. So I've been collecting articles for a very long time about the issues of teaching students about racial issues, racial diversity, thinking about how parents feel about having other racial children that they've adopted or been foster parents of. This is an interesting issue, and the fact that Rachel Dolezal, the ex-NAACP president from Spokane, Washington, made such a statement about her racial background really got my gears grinding. So I wanted to talk about the various articles first about Rachel, and then maybe I can go into my archives and look up some about teaching those students. Firstly, I have an article from Thursday, June 18th of the Hartford Courant talking about how worried that the ruse perpetrated by Dolezal will hurt efforts to move the region beyond a troubled racial past. I didn't know much about Washington being in the racial past. I know since this article came out, there's been talk of the rebellious flag in South Carolina. Maybe I'll touch upon that in a little bit, but I didn't see anything that talked about a racial past in Washington pertaining to African Americans. I know that there are some with Native Americans. Rachel did make some good points. I need to point those out. In Wednesday's article from the Hartford Courant, she says, and I quote, "I really don't see why they're in such a rush to whitewash some of the work I have done, who I am, how I have identified." Now, the work that people do shouldn't be praised for one race and diminished for another. If it's about racial equality, why can't anybody do it? Why does it have to be a particular race fighting for that. I don't understand the concept, and neither does she. But something that we all noticed that Rachel doesn't understand is that the fact that she's identified herself as something that she is not, and claiming that her parentage is different than what it is, that is unspeakable. You do not hurt your parents to further your own agenda. Frank Harris from the Hartford Courant made a really good point about racial diversity and identifying as black. He said that if Bruce Jenner can identify as Caitlyn Jenner, why can't Rachel Dolezal identify herself as black? Now, that made me think a lot, because a lot of us would say that changing gender wasn't so great. But now we see that Caitlyn feels a lot more herself as a woman. Then why would we stop people from identifying their race? But you can't exactly change your race, can you? When I was in a relationship with my ex, his mother said that she became Italian when she married his stepfather. Now, she didn't become Italian. She may have accepted the cultural patterns that Italians love to boast about, but her background is still her background. So, can somebody become Italian? Can somebody become African American? I'm not sure what to say there. I personally don't think they can, but that doesn't mean that I'm the gospel. I think anyone choosing who they are has found themselves, and that's a really great thing. A good wrap up to this video is an article that appeared in 5 parts. The first of which, Good Work Still Good, by Adrian W. Cochran, who said, like Norman Mailer's The White Negro, there were white citizens who preferred the artistic work of blacks, and that is perfectly fine. Another article, Finding Truth of Race, by Tiffany Glanville, talked about the history of Plessy versus Ferguson, or separate but equal, concept. We are all the same, we bleed red blood. Thirdly, Another Case of Blackface by Jamil Ragland. I'm not sure if I want to bring that into the topic, because then we get into the, plays and different showing sides, and I think that might be the one way that it's okay to be a little bit racist for accuracy of a story. The Struggles Continue by Elizabeth Horton Sheriff. She talks about struggles for social justice and efforts for social wrongs turning into social rights. And lastly, Don't Be Distracted by Gary Weinfeld. He talks about attempting to escape race and consequences.
No doubt I have a black ancestor. Is that right? Well, that's fantastic, Peter. Yeah, but see, the problem is I got no idea how to be black. You know, except for not smiling when I get my picture taken. Well, Peter, it sounds like you should go out and commingle amongst your newly found brethren. You know, absorb the culture. Yesterday, I received reparations from the family that enslaved my ancestors. Now, the family has become poor white trash since then, so they only gave what they could. This tray of scrumptious Rice Krispie treats. I share them with all of you in the hopes that one day your wounds may be healed as well.
Hey, why is he taking one?
Oh, this is my friend Peter Griffin. He recently discovered he was black.
He doesn't look very black to me.
Gentlemen, please, judge me not by the color of my skin, for I have always been there with you. I was there when George and Wheezy moved on up to the east side. Oh, hallelujah, those were happy times. But I was also there for the bad times. When Florida lost James to that tragic auto accident. And I was there when Tootie got those terribly painful braces. Oh, yes. And when Arnold Jackson got beat up by the Gooch, I was there. So before you decide that I don't belong here, remember this. I was there. Peter, we know about your selfish squandering of your reparation money. I shared mine. You, however, have given nothing back to the community. What? That's not true. I've brought you the greatest gift of all. A child's laughter. Peter, I think you should go. Yeah, I'm going.
Also not sure that that's a good statement to make, because Rachel Dolezal never said that she was escaping the race of white. She never tried to say that her heritage owned slavery or didn't own slaves, so I don't know where that's coming from. But for the most part, the number one was good work is still good.